I love Adventure Time, so I wanted to draw the characters in my style. We have my clown ideas. These two are more character ideas. They're kind of like root vegetable girls. Hi everyone, it's Allison and welcome back to part 3 of my sketchbook tour. We're gonna keep going through this sketchbook, and if you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, there is a playlist on my channel that has both of those parts, and if you want to go ahead and check those out, you can check those out first, or you can start with this one, whatever you want. But we're gonna keep going through, and for this time, I will say there is not gonna be a lot of finished pieces like there were in our last video. For some reason, just a lot of the time during this section of the sketchbook, I never really finished a piece, which you don't really have to do in a sketchbook. So in part 2, we ended with my Five Nights at Freddy's layout, and we're gonna go ahead and move on throughout the rest of the sketchbook. So the next page, we're starting off strong with sketches that I did to start a painting, and you might recognize this kind of situation for a painting from part 1, because years before in the sketchbook I had actually done a separate doodle that I was going to do a painting like this in 2022, and I don't have the date on this one, but at least a year later I wanted to revisit this sort of setup for a painting, and it was around the time that Melanie Martinez announced her trilogy tour, so I wanted to do like a tribute to it, and I did how she looks in each of her 3 albums, so in Crybaby, in K through 12, and then in Portals. So since it was the trilogy tour, I wanted to make it where it's kind of like the same person but 3 different heads. I'll show the final product now. It was really fun to do. I did colored pencil for the heads themselves, and then the background is just some watercolor, and I love how they turned out. But this is just a fun layout of figuring out how I might want to do that painting, and it was fun to figure out how to do braids because it was a little harder than I thought it was going to be, but now I kind of remember how to do it. Next we have a clown. I have a lot of clowns in my art. This side I was kind of figuring out what elements I wanted to do for the final product, and I sketched out her hair, what ruffle she might wear, her eyeliner, her lips, and her hat. And this is the final look. I love the colors. The colors on the hair is so pretty with the blue and the purple. The character herself is colored pencil, and then the background I just did some basic watercolor. But I love how she turned out. This spread out is another attempt on me figuring out the elements for a couple of different characters. I had drawn a couple of fruits. I did a cherry and a lime, and I wanted to make characters that went with those fruits. And I was thinking both of them could be like 50s. One of them, the cherry, is more like a 50s pinup vibe, and then the other 50s, more kind of like 60s looking back at it, but kind of like the 50s beehive hairstyle, kind of like a preppy girl and a pinup girl. Unfortunately, I never finished them. I never even finished sketching out the preppy girl, but I did finish drawing the pinup girl. I just never finished coloring her. So this was supposed to be their layout. I did finish the fruits. I love how the fruits came out. I used alcohol markers, and they just look so satisfying. But this is the pinup girl. To be honest, I think I kind of gave up on her because I didn't really like how she turned out too much. I would love to revisit them though, because I think it's a fun like duo, like a pinup girl and a preppy girl with the cherry and lime, like cherry limeade. But yeah, I never got to the other girl, unfortunately. I love this page so much. It is a really fun page. There's been a few pieces that I've done throughout the sketchbook where I had these like colorful index cards, and I would always just doodle something that was somewhat of a color of that index card. And I love Adventure Time. Adventure Time is one of my favorite cartoons. I grew up watching it. I've rewatched it like 3 times. So I wanted to draw the characters in my style and kind of connect them to the color of the index card. And I love how they turned out. They look absolutely adorable. We got Finn and Jake. We have Peppermint Butler. And we have Fern. This one's probably my favorite. We got Lemon Grab. He looks so angry. It's so adorable. Bimo. I think Bimo was the first one that I did, and then I wanted to just do a whole bunch of different characters. This one's probably my favorite, Ricardio. He looks so stinking cute, and I can't. He's adorable. And then we got Ice King. These 3 are probably my favorites. I love how they turned out. But it was a really fun little page to do. I just doodled them on the index cards and then used highlighters to color them. Next, we have some doodles. So first, this side is just some that I did randomly throughout school, and I cut them out and glued them in. I have a little Hello Kitty notebook, so I wanted to cut out the Hello Kitty writing on there, and then I did Hello Kitty in my style. And then this is a really small little doodle I did of a tiefling. I like the colors on that one a lot. This little frog is adorable. I love him. And then the little possum. I love possums so much, and I would love to have one. They're so precious. But I wanted to try doing a possum in my style. And then this one, I kind of want to work on this again, but I was really curious to see what my psychopets would look like if they had kind of a girl where the psychopet was their sidekick kind of situation. So this was the psychopet that I doodled out, and then I wanted her to kind of match him a little bit. They have the same ears, and I like how she turned out. I really need to work on anatomy. I've said this before, but I don't think I've drawn a body with my characters like this in a hot minute, probably since this character. But I really like how she turned out in this one. She's throwing a peace sign. I think it'd be really fun to give them sidekicks where really they're the main character, but it's kind of the girl is the sidekick, but where they'd match outfits, maybe they have similar personalities. We got some more cut out sketches. This one is really fun. I made creepy little caterpillar and butterfly on a mushroom. I was at a park and I was sitting on a bench and randomly wanted to doodle, so I did this. And then this, I think I got random dollar store colored pencils and just did a little bunny girl. This one's cool. It has super reflective silver paint marker. I've never used paint markers before, and this was during Easter, and we were doing plastic Easter eggs, and we were using paint markers to color the Easter eggs. Actually, since I brought that up, I actually have the Easter eggs with me, so I'm gonna go ahead and show them because I think it'd be fun. I wanted to do a little Humpty Dumpty, so I did a little Humpty Dumpty in my style. I think he's really cute. He's got little shoes on. And then this one, I love this one so much. It really kind of speaks a lot about my art style because I really like doing creepy cute kind of things. So this is both creepy and cute. So I'll show the cute side first. It's kind of giving Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde because it's two-faced. So we got the cute side. He's got little eyebrows and blush. And then we have the creepy side. I really like doing creepy teeth, and I did the button eyes, and I love how it turned out. I love the colors. But yeah, with these eggs, that was the same paint markers that I used for this little character. And then this is a wispy girl. If anyone knows from TikTok, there was a cat that was viral. She's such a sweetheart. She's all grown up now, but I wanted to doodle a little wispy girl. And then this was a sketch out for a painting idea, and looking through Pinterest randomly I found I think they're from the 50s possibly. There's black and white images of these really cool masks that they would make with they would either do a dragonfly or a bat. I can try to find the picture, but I thought it'd be really cool to make that look in my own style. I love dragonflies. I wanted to do a watercolor painting. I think it'd be cool if I did like the face with colored pencil and then the wings of the dragonfly with watercolor. I would love to do it still, so maybe I'll revisit this soon. This is a fun one. So I did random doodles and I wanted to include random markers. I don't remember what these markers are from, but I had like 3 color markers and I wanted to just do doodles and color them with just the markers. And this side we have a little unicorn with creepy teeth for some reason. We got a gummy bear, a beetle, and kind of trying to be Keroppi, but also it's just kind of like a frog. I think I was trying to do Keroppi. But it's a fun little page, and we got a heart, peace sign, and a star. And then this is around the time that I finished watching Dungeon Meshi, and I love Shinshi. He's my favorite character. And I just wanted to doodle Shinshi talking about all of his favorite monsters that they ate. So we got the walking mushroom, and we got the vegetables from the golem, the little shellfish-like creatures from the living armor, and I love the treasure insects. I think they're so fun. But I think it's just really cute to have Shinshi talking about all the monsters because he loves them so much. These two are different layouts of me testing what I want to do for characters. First, this side is a layout of the elements for an alien girl that I painted, and I was deciding what her face might look like. I was thinking maybe if she's winking her eye, but I decided not to have her do that. We got another 50s beehive hairdo. I did a little alien gun, her boots, and then I was figuring out first what her dress would look like in the first place, and then placing it in whatever position I would like her to be. And I can show the painting, and it was really fun to do. Again, I just took all these elements and placed them onto the final piece, and it was really fun because I found these wooden plaques, and one of them was in the shape of a star, and I thought it'd be really fun to have a painting of an alien on there. And I used acrylic paint, and I loved how she turned out. The colors are really pretty, and I tried to do a background where she's kind of like on a two-sunned planet, and it was really fun to make. And then this side, we're gonna have another unfinished drawing, unfortunately. Another Cartoon Network show that I absolutely love is Regular Show, and I really wanted to draw the characters in my style, and this was me testing out how I wanted to draw them. I was deciding if I wanted Mordecai to be facing forward or to the side, but I thought it was really cute with his face to the side so you can see his beak. And then I was testing how I wanted Rigby to look. At first I was like, maybe he has a unibrow, but I decided not. He looks really worried, but it's adorable. And I like the kind of hair that I decided for him. And then these are 2 different faces. I was deciding which one I wanted Pops to have. And then this was my sketch out for Benson. So they were the 4 characters that I wanted to draw. And I did finish drawing them, I just never finished coloring them. I do love how they came out, except for them not being colored, unfortunately. I mostly got done with Mordecai, and I think it's absolutely precious. I gave him a little eyebrow piercing because I feel like that'd be really cute. And then we got Rigby, we got Benson, and we got Pops, and he's waving because he's just a sweet little guy. Maybe one day I will finish coloring them, hopefully. This is pretty empty, but I love this little guy so much. I think he's absolutely precious. He's just a little strawberry clown guy, and I think I need to add more to this page to make more fruit clowns, but I think it's really cute. I just did a doodle, and I used highlighters again to color it in. And then randomly I was figuring out kind of different fantasy weapons and what they would look like. I don't know how that axe would work with the swirly things, but hey, maybe it's effective. And I do like how the hilt came out on the sword. Next, we do have a finished painting. These are a group of mythical creatures that I've made up, and I did all of this in watercolor, but I absolutely love them. They do have little stories on their own. I don't really talk about them yet, but the first two are, this one's called a guppy. I know guppies are like a type of fish, but I thought it'd be really cute. Like a little lake creature that's a guppy. And then this is a little stone elemini. Eleminis are little mythical creatures that I've made up that are miniature elements, is kind of what I'm going for. He just has his head sticking out, but they do have bodies. I do love how the colors turn out on this page because I tried to make it look like it's underwater. And it was really fun, and I'm actually going to show a picture because I've sculpted these two characters and I love them. They are best friends, and it was really fun to sculpt them and bring them to life. And I've done pictures at like the beach and the woods, so it looks like they're just on little adventures. And then this side we have 3 more characters. So we have a mushroom elemini, and then love this little guy with all my heart. He is a dust knight, and he's just trying to protect the cave. And we have a sprite. I love making little mythical creatures. I think it's really fun. We have another unfinished drawing. She's not colored. I was having a really hard time liking how her coloring was coming out. And this side is again me figuring out what she would look like and the elements of her. I think I was really overthinking the colors because, as you can see, I was trying to test out all kinds of colors. But she's a pirate mermaid, and I thought it'd be really fun to give her a crab hand instead of a hook. And I do love this character so much. I love how she turned out. I was just having a hard time coloring her. So I'm thinking someday I will trace her and try coloring her again someday. Ooh, this is a fun page. So we have my clown ideas. As I've said before, I love clowns, and I thought it'd be really fun to take like aesthetics and different fashion tastes and turn them into clowns. So this was just a random one I was gonna do. She doesn't really have a specific fashion, but the first one I did finish was the traditional goth clown, and I'll show the finished one here. I love how she turned out, the colors and everything. It was really fun to make. You can see that the final piece came out a little different than the little doodle that I did here, but I love how she turned out. And then, as you can see here, it says I was going to make a scene clown, which I did make a scene clown, but I'm not going to show her yet because later on I do have doodles for the setup of her. And then I was thinking of like a mushroom cottagecore clown, but I didn't really like how she was turning out. Maybe I'll try out a different sketch. And I really do want to do a Gyudo clown, and not just Harajuku, more so I want to do a Decora clown as well. And later on I have sketched out what I want to do for the Decora clown because she is going to be the next one I'll be doing, which is very exciting. Here I was figuring out how I would draw bugs in my Psychopet style because I love bugs, as I've said before. And I thought it'd be really cool to see what they would look like in my little plushie style. And this was what I thought a butterfly might look, what a moth. The moth would mostly be like the butterfly but with different antennae. And then a rhino beetle, which I think would be really cute. And a spider. So with these, I did finish an outline drawing of the spider, and I love how he turned out. He's so adorable. I love him so much. And I did little orange spider webs behind him, and I think he's so cute. And this is such a niche like reference or whatever, I don't know, but I really wanted to do a specific nose for the spider because there's a really old cartoon that I would watch all the time when I was little, and I think it's called Fly Hotel. I can show it here, but the spider in that cartoon has a nose like this, and I thought it'd be really fun to kind of tribute to him. This page, I was gonna draw out all the different Smiley Friends characters out and just color them with crayons, and I only got Charlie done. They're really cute. I love how they turned out. I love smiling friends, and I just wanted to see what they'd look like in my style. We got Charlie, Pim, and Gleb. They're so cute. Next, we have a couple of idea sketches, and this first one is actually Leatherface. I'm not a huge fan of horror movies like this one, but I wanted to draw something for my dad's birthday, so I wanted to first sketch it out on how I'd want to do it, and then I can show the final product here. But I always draw pictures for my parents and my siblings, so I thought it'd be fun to have the sketch idea in my sketchbook. And then this side, I wanted to figure out what my Monster of the Week character would look like. I love this character. It's the first time where I've actually written out a backstory for a character. If you don't know what Monster of the Week is, it's very similar to D&D, but also not. It's more so like you're playing Scooby-Doo mysteries as a D&D game. It's really fun. I highly recommend it. If you like D&D, I think you would like Monster of the Week. But her name is Aurora Wonderlost, and she is a jester, and I love her so much. I never finished sketching out what she would look like, but these were just a couple of ideas. Her jester hat looks all bumpy because she has a crocheted jester hat, and I just thought it'd be fun to sketch out what she might look like, but I never really got to finish. These are just random little things. I love Mountain Dew, and I kept the labels for Mountain Dew bottles, and I wanted to make little characters that would go with the Mountain Dew flavor. So we got classic Baja Blast. Gotta love Baja Blast. And I thought it would be really cute if they had a little hammerhead shark mascot to go with the Baja Blast, and he has a little Hawaiian shirt with limes on it because it's tropical lime flavored. And I think he's so cute. And then this was the last Halloween flavor, the mystery flavor, the Voodoo Mountain Dew. So I just kind of took the character that is already on the label and gave him a creepy face because I thought that'd be fun. This is another sketch out that I did for a drawing for a family member. I wanted to draw Art the Clown for my brother, and I'll show the finished product here, but I really like how they turned out, and I thought it would be good practice too, not only just to have the memory that I drew this for my family, but also to be able to draw him in my style here, but then also draw it again. Here we have the sketch out elements for the scene clown, and I wanted to draw out her hair first. For her clown element, she has a leopard print star headband kind of thing, and I sketched out her lips and her eyeliner, and I can show the final piece here. I absolutely love how she turned out. I love the colors so much, and I think she looks really cool. Next is another sketch out for a drawing for a family member. I wanted to draw a character from Rainbow Bright for my mom, and I was going between two different versions of him. This one, I wasn't really into it, so I drew the final one, how this one is sketched out, and I can show the final piece here. Again, it's just really fun to draw for my family, and for each of them, I always do colored pencil for the character themselves, and then I do watercolor for the background. This is just some doodles that I've done for different character designs. This was a fun one. I just used crayons, and I wanted to do the sun. And then these two are really exciting. I'll go back to them in a second. But this one was a random one I did with colored pencil. She has a strawberry headpiece. But these two are more character ideas that I want to develop more, and they're kind of root vegetable girls. I think it'd be fun to have a collection like that. So this girl is an onion girl, and this is a carrot girl, and more so their hair is related to root vegetables. These are a couple of random doodles that I did. This first one, I love him so much, he's adorable. It's a little goblin pirate. I think that'd be really fun to have a D&D character that's a goblin pirate. And then this is kind of really creepy, even for me, but I had just recently done a Shrek marathon, and I wanted to draw Shrek. Actually, I think this was before we did the marathon, but I wanted to draw Shrek in my style from memory, and it's just creepy looking. He kind of looks like a Frankenstein style of Shrek slightly, but just fun little doodles. And then this last drawing that I'll be showing for part 3 is going to be my logo. I wanted to redraw my Psychopets logo because I thought it'd be fun. In part 1, we actually saw from 2022, this was my first attempt at my Psychopets logo, and I wanted to revisit it now in 2025, and I was deciding if I wanted to stick with the logo having just a small button in the middle and then the words around it, or making the logo itself a button, and I thought that would be really fun. So then I was deciding what kind of font I would want to do, so either bubble font or groovy font, and I went with the groovy font, and this was how it came out. I love the colors. I used colored pencil, and this is the new logo. But yeah, that's going to be part 3 of my sketchbook tour. I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in part 4. Bye!